welcome to Front Doors News. Today we're talking with Erin Callanan, who is the training coordinator for Arizona Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Now we brought you in because this month, actually, for October, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
That's right.
And it's a very important issue that not a lot of people know a lot about. So you, obviously being very involved in the training and bringing that awareness to the community here in Arizona, what can you kind of tell us, the people who are maybe unsure whether they're in a domestic violence situation or maybe know somebody, what are some things to look for?
Absolutely. So domestic violence is actually really prevalent, and it's common in our societies and our communities. So it's important that we have these conversations to talk with each other and have an understanding. 1 in 4 women actually experience domestic violence. And so things that we can look for is domestic violence sort of spreads across all socioeconomic status, age, both men and women, levels of education, sexual orientation. So it doesn't discriminate. This is something that can happen to any one of us. Things that we can look for, there's a series of different forms of violence. That can range from physical to sexual, emotional, mental, verbal, spiritual. Some tactics that often abusers use is kind of isolating and intimidating, and there's a series of things that don't have to do with physical abuse.
Right. Now that's kind of, to me, surprising. Spiritual, obviously emotional, but I can see how maybe that would tie in together as well. So there aren't just, the hitting or yelling. It's much deeper than that for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Domestic violence is really about a pattern of abusive behaviors where one person is trying to gain and maintain power and control over another intimate partner. So that power and control can be gained in a series of different ways. Mm-hmm. So when we're supporting survivors, it's really more about looking for the physical signs, because many of these relationships don't get physical.
Right. So what can people do if they think that maybe they know somebody or maybe themselves are involved in something like that?
Sure. There's a series of different things that we can do. First and foremost is really about supporting that person. Nobody deserves to be abused, and it's not that person's fault. So we can really validate that experience and affirm that and let that person know that we believe them. There's several resources out there. There's the National Domestic Violence Hotline. The Coalition can always be reached out to. We have a legal advocacy hotline. And then there's a list of shelters all around Arizona that people can reach out to that also utilize crisis lines as well.
Now, I don't know if you focus on maybe the person that's causing the abuse in some way. Maybe they're not aware of it. I mean, are there things that the person that maybe is involved in instigating it can do?
Absolutely. While it's the choice and the responsibility of that abusive partner, it's also really important that there's support and services offered to them so that they can hopefully change and modify that abusive behavior. So there's several batterer intervention programs around the state. That's something that if you contact the Arizona Coalition, we can help navigate someone and put them in the right direction of finding that support.
Great. Well, it's good what you're doing, and I noticed that you're actually wearing a purple band today.
I am.
Can you talk about that?
Sure. Domestic Violence Awareness Month is taking place during the whole month of October, and purple is the color for domestic violence. So really getting involved in spreading awareness and education, taking time to mourn those who've lost their lives, but also support survivors and empower victims. You can wear purple throughout the whole month. You can wear the wristbands, ribbons, pins. It's really about getting the word out there.
Right. And can you actually buy these bands?
You can. The Coalition actually sells the pins, and there's a few different resources and shelters throughout Phoenix that you can purchase some of these goodies from.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you coming down to talk about this. I know, again, this is a very big issue for everybody.
Sure.
It doesn't discriminate. So it's really good that we help get the word out as well. So thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.